and welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted Podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, and I'm here with Liz.
Hey!
And if it's your first time listening or watching, you can always subscribe or follow. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe or unfollow. And my phone went off.
Not a single fuck was given
Just
this day.
shame on you. Strike on you.
Exactly. So, how you been?
Tired. I'm a little exhausted. Some crazy days at work. It's been a little stressful training somebody and all that fun stuff. So.
The joys of trying to find some capable help, right?
Yeah, well, I personally trained this person next week, so for all those days, so it'll be fun. It's all day in the ED, man. All day in the ED. Man, I'm so not looking forward to 5 days of that stuff. I'm already just feeling the exhaustment of that.
Damn. Here's hoping they don't quit on you in the next couple of weeks.
I hope they stick around for the year because I would like somebody to be around so when I take off for my leaves, they will be around to help.
They're like, it's 3 weeks from now. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Bye. I hope not. That sucks. I mean, we're one of the better high-paying hospitals, so like, we don't want to give that up.
But what's the turnover rate recently? That's a real question.
About a year. I think it's about a year. So the turnoff is about a year. We had our last person who quit on the 1st. They've been with our hospital system for 2 years. They were with us for a year. Then the last person was with us for about a year too.
Okay. Okay, not too bad. That's better turnover rate than us. We've been going through, let's see, probably every 4 weeks. That was our turnover rate for individuals.
Damn. I mean, night shifts have been the one harder.
Graveyard's hard, yeah, overall.
Graveyard's harder.
Yeah, for graveyard, for any job is difficult no matter what. But yeah, good. That's good. Oh, here's hoping for this person sticking long enough for everything 2023.
Yes, and how about you? How are you?
I'm good. I recently, just the other day, I came back from my brother-in-law's birthday party or birthday weekend. Everyone's enjoying the weekend at the coast. I came back yesterday afternoon. I got to spend like a day and a half there.
That's fun.
It's always fun to kind of, because Airbnbs are always nice places for the most part, depending on how. I'd liked just going to hang out in one of these places, and it was like a 5-minute walk to the coast too. It was too cold to go to the coast, but I just like the hanging out, celebrating, being with everyone, or even if
I just wished your brother-in-law a happy birthday on Facebook. So
there you go. Yeah. So yeah, he got surprised. He basically got kidnapped, and then the 1 hour and not actually, it was a 2-hour drive, and then so he got surprised. Now they're spending 4 nights out there. I wish I could have enjoyed a little bit more instead of just like a day and a half, but it is what it is. I got to at least enjoy one night, got to party, have fun, and that's kind of really it. Besides that, I'm looking forward to. I officially got confirmation that I'll be getting minimum 4 long weekends after the Super Bowl week. So I am looking forward to long weekend.
Yeah, me.
So yes. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. So you'll be seeing, everyone who's listening, you'll be seeing a few more things. I'm gonna be using that time to not only just kind of relax and catch up with stuff, TV shows and all that, but I'm just gonna be working on little projects to get ready for the next quote season of the Convoluted Podcast. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like actually relaxing and doing stuff. Things like that nature. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump into some of these stories?
Nope, not that I can think of.
Okay, so before we jump into those stories, don't forget, everyone, don't forget to pick up some merch from merch.tyrant.com. They're nice comfort wear. I literally, that's exactly what I wore when I was at the party. Just my comfort wear, nice, comfy, just hanging out with everyone. And you can use it for parties, or you can use it for lounging as a couch potato. Do whatever you want with it. Just represent us. And thank you for everyone who has been picking up stuff. And yeah, So Liz recently got this one fun story that somehow turned
I
tragic.
couldn't resist this morning. I looked and I was laughing my ass off. I don't think anybody has ever learned how to put like locks on credit cards, haven't they?
It sounds like
I
it.
know as much as we've talked about this, but let's just take it one more step. In Japan, pet fish playing Nintendo Switch run up bill on owner's credit card. You thought it was a kid, y'all. I know you thought it. We took it one more step. Here's something you don't see every day. Pet fish playing a video game in Japan managed to log on to the Nintendo Switch store, change the owner's avatar, set up a PayPal account, and rack up a credit card bill. And it was seemingly live streamed in real time on the internet.
Okay, that's a lot. Just reading that. So there's weird stuff people do on Twitch and stuff like that too, and doing this pet thing. That's kind of cool. But the craziness for it to log out of the game and set up a PayPal account, that is crazy.
I know, right?
All right, continue.
The fish in question belonged to a YouTuber known as Chimera? I don't know.
It
Whose
is
channel is
Mute Kikamura. Mute Kikamura. Yeah, Japanese.
who's popular with the gaming community for its videos featuring groups of tetra fish that play video games.
Bro, I could never surprise.
Quote, unquote.
I could never keep Tetrafish alive for long.
Mute has previously installed sophisticated motion detection tracking software in fish tanks, enabling the fish to remotely control a Nintendo Switch console. But the technology and the fish's apparently mastery of it led to an unexpected turn of events earlier in the month while was live streaming a game of Pokemon. Kitamura had stepped away for a break when the game crashed due to the system error and the consoles returned to the home screen. But the fish carried on swimming like fish tend to do and simply continued to control the console remotely from their tank. During the 7 hours, the fish reportedly managed to change the name of their owner's Switch account before twice logging into the Nintendo store where users can purchase games and other downloadable content. Also managed to check legal terms and conditions, downloaded a new avatar, and even set up a PayPal account from the Switch, sending an email out to the owner in the process. Video from the live stream appeared to show. But things didn't end there. The fish were adding 500 yen or $4 worth to Switch account from his credit card during the live stream, exposing his credit card details in the process. The YouTuber revealed the follow-up video about the episode. At this point, thousands of comments. Oops, accidentally hit the damn ad. At this point, thousands of comments were streaming, and as viewers watched the unintended takeover being live streamed on the channel, and the incident went viral on Twitter, where thousands of Japanese users shared their amusement. The owner later said they had to contact Nintendo to explain what happened and ask for a refund of his 500 yen. Nintendo could kind to comment on to CNN, citing customer confidentiality.
Bro, I'm looking at the thing. That is crazy how they were able to this fish rip, because you had to put in the what is the code in the back? CVV or something?
Yeah.
So the fish had to randomly be able to swim and press the A button to confirm, and then revealing the credit card information. That is rough.
That's hilarious. We haven't learned. These people haven't learned.
It's funny. It's funny too, because at the end of the day, it was a funny gimmick. I'm gonna get my pet fish to do something, and it seems like it wasn't the first time like this. But then, he got lucky. He didn't get like fully exposed, like his full. Hopefully, he wasn't like his card wasn't like not tampered. What's like able to like lose a lot more because he could have lost a lot more money.
$5 doesn't seem too shabby.
Yeah, $5 for this incident, not too bad compared to what could have happened if someone maliciously took that information, stuff like that.
How about all the information? How many kids have racked up those like galore?
Yeah, in this day and age, you gotta really be careful with things like that. But that's good. That's good. It was a funny thing happening, but luckily this fish didn't go hog wild and just spent like $4. So that's
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
Let's kind of go local. Let's go a little local. About this
Oh, okay.
who won a lawsuit for $1 million.
Oh, okay.
All right, there's a local one from the state of Oregon. Jury awards $1 million to an Oregon woman who was told, I don't serve black people," after trying to get gas.
Damn.
Rose Wakefield stopped at a Jackson's food store in Beaverton on March 12, 2020. Saw the attendant ignore her and instead pumped gas for other drivers, her attorney said. Let's hear. Oh, there is video of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I play the video? Can I play the audio? Let me see here.
To get gas for service, and I wasn't served.
Oh, that's her statement. Oh, I can play her statement in the background a little bit. A jury has awarded an Oregon woman $1 million in damages after finding that she was discriminated against by a gas station employee who told her, "I don't serve black people." The Molalla County jury, Multnomah County,
Multnomah. Come on, you're a Oregonian.
Awarded this week to the Portland resident Rose Wakefield, 63, including punitive damages of $150,000. Wakefield's lawyer, Gregory, said she stopped for gas at Jackson's food store in Beaverton on March 12, 2020, and saw the attendant, Nigel, ignore her and instead pumped gas for other drivers. When she tried to ask for assistance, she said, "I'll get you when I feel like it," according to what's her name?
Gregory.
Oh, Gregory. Yeah, Gregory. Attendants are required to pump fuels for motorists at gas stations in Oregon, larger population centers, including Portland and nearby suburbs of Beaverton. Surveillance video shows Wakefield going inside to ask for help. Another employee followed her back outside to pump her gas. Covio says that she was leaving. Wakefield asked Powers why he refused to help her and said that, "I don't serve black people." I was like, what world am I living in? Wakefield told KGW, "This is not supposed to go down like that. It was terrible. Terrible confirmation between me and this guy." During the following week, Wakefield complained twice to managers, but her phone calls were largely disregarded. Powers was fired. Yeah, Powers was fired a month later after corporate records show that he has been written up several times for talking on his cell phone. So that's why he was fired, because he was talking on his cell phone, not because of this. Big Wakefield originally was just going to let it go. She told her friends that it was too disturbing and she didn't want to deal with it. And then she thought about it and said, "It's too wrong. I have to do something about it." The statement from Jackson's food store Thursday said the company has a zero tolerance policy for discrimination of any kind that isn't respectfully disagreed with the jury's ruling because our knowledge does not align with the verdict. After carefully reviewing all the facts and evidence, including the video surveillance, we chose to take this matter to trial because we were comfortable based on our knowledge that this service-related concern actually reported by customers was investigated and promptly addressed. The companies didn't elaborate, but the lawyer said Powers was never questioned by the company about the racist comments and was disciplined only for failing to serve customers in the order of their arrival. So yeah, so basically, like I said, he got fired because of the phone calls usage, not because of his racism.
I just can't believe that. I mean, Beaverton.
What are you talking about? I can believe this is happening.
It's so diverse. It's so diverse out there. Like, I go out there and I feel like it because I went to high school out that area, so I'm very familiar with that area. And so, it I just can't fathom that. Like, really, how diverse it is out there. How can you be racist out there? You're in the wrong part of the woods. You need to go east, dude, where there's like just a white population. There's no other company.
So I don't find this actually surprising. This is just the norm now. Just be openly racist, no matter what. People are.
It pisses me off. I mean, I just don't understand it. I really just don't understand it. I have friends and family that are all from different types of areas of life, and I don't understand it. I still don't understand it. Like I don't know. I grew up in Southern California. I didn't have a chance to be racist. You just had to be around these people all the time. And my question, it's also being raised that way too. But I wasn't raised to be racist. That's for sure.
Bruh.
I don't.
I'm a white girl, okay? I'm not gonna lie.
True. So the thing is, I think it's just becoming more and more blatant that people are just open with certain things.
Yeah.
Because at this point, people are kind of getting away with things. Like this incident right here, the main company, after even she put complaints about it, nothing was done about it.
That was bullshit. I mean, now they just lost $1 million to this lady because they didn't take proper action and to her. But the fact that it was fired for something else, disregarding her thing, I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
Bruh.
Okay, I'm gonna just play a little clip and hear what she has to say in her own words.
March 12th, 2020. Rose Wakefield pulled her car into the Jackson's gas station in the Tannersbourne area.
I went to a gas station to get gas for service, and I wasn't served. I was actually humiliated and disrespected.
The attendant working that day ignored her and filled up other cars that had arrived later than she had. Court documents describe how she tried to get his attention, but he continued to dismiss her. Surveillance video shows Wakefield go inside to ask for help. Another employee followed her back outside to pump her gas. As spelled out in the discrimination lawsuit, as Wakefield was leaving, the attendant told her, "I don't serve black people," and laughed in her face.
Oh wow! So, okay, so there was more to the story apparently. So,
is there?
a little bit from what I heard from the little thing. So apparently, he even after he says, where's that statement? Let me see it. I don't serve black people, and laughed into at her face.
It's a what?
He laughed at her face.
Oh. Damn.
It's just becoming more the norm now for things like this to be happening, and people are becoming more brazen about it as well. And they're just doing it in the most blatant way as an individual. And the next thing is just as far as the company not doing anything about it, or barely. They didn't do anything about the main issue, the main complaint, and they just fired him because of a sub thing, because of a misuse of company time, things like that. So,
yeah.
It is what it is, disappointing, but at the end of the day, that horrible moment at least got her a reasonably good payday.
Hell yeah.
But
Invest it well, lady. Invest it well.
All right, let's jump in. Any other final thoughts?
Nope.
Ooh, do the snowman or snow woman.
Minnesota one?
Interesting. Because I could not imagine this happening myself.
All right, Minnesota's Miracle Woman, frozen, solid, and survived. Ever since I became aware of this story, I can't help but to think when the Minnesota woman weather turns dangerously cold, the outcome of this woman is nothing short of a miracle.
It's chilly right now for us too.
I know it's chilly. I can feel it. Here in Minnesota, we are aware of how dangerously cold it can get in the winter months. And sometimes it's cold that literally kill a person, and that's just about, and by all accounts, should have happened to this woman from Langby, Minnesota. According to Fox 9 News, 42 years ago, on the very cold night reported to be a 22 below zero, and the wind chill much colder, Jill Hillard went on to meet some friends near her hometown. On her way home, she decided to take a shortcut on a gravel road that turned out to be very icy. As a result, Hillard's car slid into the ditch. Thinking until she was half a mile from her friend's house, she decided to leave her car and walk to his house. Not only did she misjudge how cold it was outside, but she also miscalculated how far she was from her friend's house. After walking for an hour in frigid attempts, she spotted her friend's house through the trees and remembers nothing after that. It was like somebody turned out the lights. I just fell asleep, she said. At 7 a.m. the next morning, 6 hours later, her friend came out and found her out in the snow about 15 feet from his doorstep. She was frozen solid, with her eyes frozen open. Her friends actually thought she was dead. After putting her in a car, they headed to the Fonston Hospital. They carried me in, someone at my feet and someone at my shoulders, and they didn't need a gurney to carry me in. They carried me in because I was solid, Hillard said. Hillard was frozen so solid that the nurses kept breaking needles when attempting to get the IV into her arms. Doctors could barely detect a heartbeat. Didn't think I was alive being at the hospital. They thought I was a hometown girl. They knew me, and they were going to give me up on right away. But it didn't look good at all, Hillard said. After a few hours, Hillard actually woke up and started talking. When they got my jeans off and once my tissue started to warm up, I was black from the waist down. When the tissue turns black, that means they're usually now coming back. So they told my parents and my family they didn't think I'd make it. But if I did, I would lose both my legs for sure, Hillard said. After spending 7 weeks in the hospital, made a complete recovery. The first week I was tough because I remember being in pain. I felt like I had run a marathon without training, Hillard said. I was kind of stiff and sore, but after all that, I was fine. National News picked up Hillard's extraordinary story as she appeared on the Today Show and Unsolved Mysteries. Even did a show about her miraculous survival. Hillard says since her survival, she leads a pretty normal life. She got married, had 3 kids, and now lives in Cambridge.
Okay, so damn, that's crazy. Just the thought, like, there's been stories of people just frozen, but like that moment where you're just like, okay, my car's in a ditch, place I gotta go, and she was what, 15 feet away?
Yeah, literally 15 feet away. Like, Jesus, how do you survive that?
Like, that is crazy. That would suck because 7 hours later, like, they probably went to bed, and you can only imagine just like say if it was you or me, we're like, okay, and you're like waiting and waiting. Oh, they're not coming, but they're outside, like freezing, and like, and if this person would have just like checked outside really quick or anything, it'd have been a quicker thing. But that
you survived that. I mean, wow, that has got to be some craziness. I mean, because you think about it, your heat goes all the way from extremities, like your brain, your fingers, your toes, everything goes to your core to keep your heart pumping. So the fact that it was just enough heat to keep her body just a little alive. I mean,
yeah, she basically went to
slow her heartbeat so badly down. I mean, like, you would have to think about it. Like,
she went to stasis. Yeah, she went to a level of stasis to stay alive, and that's crazy. More power to her, because
you don't hear those stories that often. I mean, that's crazy.
So yeah, more power to her. Looks like she's not back to normal, but she's living a life now, doing her thing. Mostly when currently this winter, we've been having at least us, we've been having an awkward winter. There's been a couple hot days, cold days, weird days. You just never know.
Especially last Saturday when it was snow, rain, hail, rain, snow, hail. We never knew what it was doing. It was all mixed.
Like, just one thing. If not one thing, it's another, right? It's one thing, other.
Yep.
Talking about that, let's talk about the McDonald's president.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so McDonald's president, who made $7.4 million last year, says proposal to pay the fast food workers $22 an hour is a costly and job destroying.
Really?
Yeah, paying our employees $22 an hour. It's too much for this company. It's gonna destroy us. It's gonna destroy us, Liz. Don't you understand?
Yeah, Ford did the same thing back in a long time ago when he was making his cars, his Model Ts. He was giving them a good living wage at that time, and he saw an increase of production and an increase of life. His product survived, and he still made great money.
Okay, so let's see what happened here. The president of the McDonald's USA threw shade at California lawmakers for passing the fast food law that he said would make it all but impossible to run small business restaurants in the state. Joe Ilger said in January 25th open letter, AB 257, dubbed the FAST Act, signed into law last year, could raise the hourly restaurant wage to $22 an hour in the state. The open letter was published after the state approved a referendum backed by the fast food chains that would put the law up for a vote in November 2024. The law was previously set to enforce on January 1st, but until the vote, state officials can't implement the law. Okay, so let's just quickly talk a little bit. We've been talking about minimum wage and just the cost of living as of now. It is nearly this day and age hard for anyone to survive out there.
That they have to work
job and a half.
Full-time job and another part-time job just to make ends meet on their own.
That's just to make ends meet. That's not to have extra, fun money. That's just...
No, not even extra money for any, surprise bills that they get,
There's no savings.
Went to the urgent care and now I don't have that money to pay for that.
There's no fun money. There's no savings. It's just day-to-day living.
Literally paycheck to paycheck, as we talked about it, right?
So, I could see why they're trying to do this. It makes perfect sense on the bottom standard. I can only imagine.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I can only imagine because this is corporate talk. So for us, it's we're putting the layman's common man terms. $22 an hour sounds reasonable, depending on the state. At different states, different counties had different cost of living. That's for sure. But for sure, at least as far as California, their cost of living is so much higher.
Tremendous, though. So, gas, living for an apartment. Oh my God. Nobody's able to afford anything in California.
Let's what's a city in California, and we'll see what an average apartment costs. I'll look it up.
Do you want to try Orange or
give me a city?
Santa Monica, Santa Ana.
Santa Monica? Okay, let's go Santa Monica. And why can't I spell
Santa?
Okay.
Come on.
I've never been to Santa Monica.
I think I have. Monica.
California. Why am I getting Santa Ana?
Well, Santa Ana is very close to it. That's why.
Okay, we'll just do Santa Ana. Let's see. Apartments?
Yeah.
The apartment.
That's a suburb. I mean, we're looking at it like that.
Okay, give me another city then.
Just think about it. It's a nice area. Don't get me wrong. It's part of Irvine. It's part of Orange. It's kind of smack dab in the middle of it all.
Okay, let's just look. Okay, so let's see here. An apartment for... Okay, here's the first one that comes off. It is a 3-bedroom studio for $3,000 a month. That's the first thing I clicked.
You would have to have 3 roommates who make $1,000 enough. $1,000 just to make that.
And that's not even the first month's rent, last month's rent, and all that stuff.
I know, right? And that's not even including your utilities, your water bill, your electricity bill, your trash bill. If you want your Wi-Fi, that's another bill.
So yeah, it's just that's just California.
If you think about it, what minimum wage is right now?
Oh, let's do the calculation. Yeah, let's do
California.
Let's do okay. So what right now? So let me bring out the calculator. We're just doing all the math right now. So
I know, right?
Okay, current
minimum wage in Southern California.
And minimum. It is minimum wage currently is sitting at $15.50. Okay, so let's go here.
40 hours a week. We're looking at what?
Times 40. Let's times 4 for 4 days a week. For taxes, taxes usually times like 15%. So we'll do 18 just to be safe. So 18. Yeah. So you're looking at roughly 2,000 income a month. So half your income just for that. Say if you were let's do that one apartment with your 3 friends. If you have those 3 friends, half your paycheck goes straight to your living. And then
And that doesn't include the other bills, electric bills, or
food.
yeah,
Food.
Exactly. None of that. $1,000 worth of that, and that's gonna be diminished in no time. Just think about it. Ouch, y'all. Ouch.
So what's the let's see what the difference is. So 2,000. So remember this number is 2,000 for the minimum wage. So if they raise minimum wage to 22 times 40 times, it's gonna be more no matter what. But let's kind of give a rough estimate. It's better than nothing. It's still a rough $700 to $800 extra a page, like in a month, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but $700 to $800 to your bank account is something. It's more reliability. It's just having that little bit of extra money to put into savings, to have just maybe even for leisure, because when the moment you become your life becomes just working, it just makes life even harder to just continue. So
That's very depressing.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue then. The majority of McDonald's nearly 4,000 restaurants in the U.S. are run by franchisees, with hundreds of stores operating in California. The open letter was titled "California Keeps Looking for Ways to Raise Prices. Driveways for more business enjoying growth through bad policy and bad politics." In the letter, Larger noted that the company wasn't against increasing the minimum wage. Let me be clear: we support legislation that leads to meaningful improvements in our communities, including responsible increase to the minimum wage. Our business does well when our employees and our community do well. Whether you're a lawmaker, a business owner, or a leader, or an everyday voter, one thing is clear: California has become a dramatic case study of putting bad politics over good policy. And Linger said, according to the financial disclosure, Linger made about $7.4 million in salary, stock options, and other compensation from McDonald's in 2021. The latest year complete compensation history available. So how much is that an hour? We're just being like hard on this person. 7 million divided by 52 divided by 40. So him alone, and just avoiding just the nitpickiness of like stock options and all that stuff, right? Compensation. We're just going straight for the 7 mil. He's making $3,700 an hour.
Really? Really? Oh, that's such a hard life, man. I can't make $37,000. I wanted $40,000 a year.
Bruh.
So yeah.
Oh my god, people. Write me a freaking river.
Restaurant analysis John Gordon, a consultant for many McDonald's franchisees, said that he's not surprised by English from March, which seemed to be setting the stage for a battle leading up to November's 2024 vote. Oh, this is not even happening until next year. Wow, that's crazy. We might need to come back to this. The 2024 is a presidential election year, and the turnout is expected to be high. God, I hate when they always say that. Like turnout is supposed to be. Turnout is random at this point. McDonald's taking a public stance on anti-business legislation. He said, supporters of the union-backed FAST Act signed by Governor Gavin Newsom on Labor Day says that the law would improve working conditions for thousands of fast food workers in the state. AB 257 creates 10-member council of fast food workers, franchisors, advocates for fast food workers, and the representative from the government's office. The council will establish minimum standards of wage, working hours, and other working conditions related to health and safety of workers. The law applies to food chains with more than 100 locations, including Starbucks, Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's. Okay, so just by looking at it, because we haven't actually looked at AB 257, just looking at the kind of the cliff notes on this, it looks like they're trying to do something for like the average fast food worker. And if done right, this is what's tough about politics. This is why we don't talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, there's a lot of times where bad politics just don't do good. When good policies go with bad politics, they're right. Like this seems really good. You're trying to help everyday fast food workers. It just becomes then an issue with the politics. That's where that's what's frustrating.
People who are making the money are bitching because they're probably going to lose some money. No, I don't think so. I think you're going to make some good money if you actually take care of your workers. I mean, if you think about it, simple as that.
So, okay, let's see. Anything more? Trying to see if there's anything more interesting. They plan to strike. Yeah, it just looks like they're just working on this. So, what are your thoughts and kind of this? Because I can only imagine if you used to live back in California, what you would be doing.
I know. I think about my job, like right now, as a pharmacy tech. I heard a lot of places don't actually pay us this hell great. I mean, you would have to be in the hospital setting to actually make some good money, because the people in those settings of retail do not make a lot of money. So I only know this because I look through Glassdoor all the time just for shits and giggles and to see what it would be. And it's crazy. I'm like, okay, so I'm making pretty good money right now where I'm at. And, again, you have to make some really good money in the state of California as being in the hospital to actually make some decent living as a pharmacy tech. And I'm still not even making good money then. And I was like, okay, shouldn't bitch and complain about my job so much.
True. Because at the moment, at least I think the one thing I'll say, and if you can call it, anyone listening who might not be in the grids, it might sound like bragging, but I think me and Liz are in a reasonably comfortable situation at the moment. We joke about like trying to quit our jobs and making this our permanent job, which would be fantastic.
Hell yeah.
But it's not.
Well, we also joke about winning the lottery too, but that doesn't happen, does it?
No. It's like that is literally But we enjoy doing this for fun, and the little money that we do make kind of just literally goes back into the show. So as much as we like push for like merch sales and all that stuff, it's all literally just going back into the show for more of your guys' entertainment. It just makes it a little bit easier for us to make better content for you. But but like going, it's a $7 raise basically. And for companies, that sounds like a lot, because $7 times X amount of people, that's a chunk of money. That is a huge operating cost, because if I'm playing devil's advocate here, that's a lot, because then you have to
but then you have to waste everybody else's wages, like I said.
So you got to then
This will help a lot of the people who are been making that money right now to get that up too. So, especially in a lot of different fields of work, once you raise that minimum wage to 22, you have to raise everybody else's wages too to then compensate that. So
true and not true at the same time.
You have to.
Because I have
like all pharmacy technicians, so they're making just as much money as a fast food wage worker.
So
Wouldn't it be easier instead of you're dealing with somebody's life at hand? You go, I'm gonna go flip a fucking burger because I'm making the same money.
so the
I don't
reason
kill anybody by making food.
so the reason I say no is because they don't have to, because that's a different industry. Like that's when that industry has to start pushing. Those employees have to start pushing for change. Just because we'll use your example. Just because the fast food industry is getting the raise, then it's time for the medical field industry to then start making some noise to do some raise. Well, because if there's no noise being made, what reason does the medical industry have to do? Like, oh, no one's saying nothing. All right, we can just keep paying them the same amount. It's all about the noise people make.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you that.
Oh, and
But,
then
I mean,
and legislators
I've
too.
always, I was a complainer too. Like back when I worked with you guys up at the store, I was bitching like, wait, you guys are getting a pay raise, and I work back here behind the counter, and I still don't make what? For a moment, you were making more than I was at one point back there.
Like even in our, I can use my company's example at the moment. Like a lot of the wage we make is just literally $1 shy of what a management person makes. So a lot of people are just stepping down or quitting because there's no point for someone to have X amount of responsibilities to be making just $1 more to $1.50 more than what a journeyman would. What's the point? It's like it's all about what change the company wants to make and how soon they want to make it. They don't have to make it that soon. They can take their time. Like, oh yeah, you'll eventually, like a managerial position will eventually get the raise soon, probably eventually. It's all
it's on the back burner. We'll think about it
because it's one of those things. I think it's going to be a very long time before we see any actual, like, I don't even think we will. I don't think we'll ever see an actual a time where people will be able to live comfortably, unless you're like in a weird, like, what is it, like what's that term where you're like in a good in the sweet spot. Unless you're like in that sweet spot where you're making enough money to make enough money to be able to also save money and everything. Unless you're in that weird sweet spot, you're either going to be making less money to survive, or making so much money that you're just spending it and not really, like, there's people that make a lot of money, and there are smart people who invest on it, but then it's just that it's for the everyday person to find that sweet spot where, like, I'm living comfortably, I make enough money, and I'm able to also save money. Like, I personally don't feel that I'm in that sweet spot. I feel like I'm getting there, but it's just like I mentioned, there's a few things that have ruined me getting to that sweet spot. But it wasn't that far. It was like something I could grasp almost there until last year. But I can get back there eventually, depending if everything kind of like trickles down. So keep supporting us, everyone. Keep supporting us. But anyways. But yeah, I don't think as a country we'll ever have that sweet spot. We're just too.
Yeah, for us. There are people who are already in it. So
for those who are in that sweet spot, good for you. Just try to continue. I would say don't double dip. That's when you get a little greedy. You just never know. But yeah, any other thoughts on this topic?
Well, I hope for the best for the state of California, because especially with the cost of living out there, damn.
Yeah,
never would make it.
Oh my god! What? Actually, let's kind of look. What is the? Okay, California is probably one of the top 5. What are the? Let's see, highest cost of living states. Do you want to guess?
California, New York.
Okay. Start. We'll do. I got the top 10. So. Oh, I guess a couple, and then let's see if you get any.
Okay, I got California and New York for sure. I want to say Florida is somewhere in there. Illinois. Georgia. I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to be
Oh.
using, let's see here. I'm trying to find a good. We're going to be using GoBank Rates website. The top 10 most expensive states to live in. Let's see here. Let's see, what does this article have? Depending on where you live in the United States, will vary for things like food you eat and the energy you consume, the healthcare you're required, and the transportation you use. But sometimes these cost difference are astronomical. Here, for example, one state you pay over 200% more for a housing than a national average, and in another state you pay 51% more than the national average for healthcare. To find the most expensive state to live in, GoBank Rates looked at the annual living expense for all 50 states utilizing 2021's Consumer Expenditure Survey, which is the most recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The cost of living index are gathered for housing, groceries, utilities, healthcare, transportation, and overall annual expenditures total for living expenditures were calculated. Okay, so they kind of did a lot of like data gathering. So we'll take their word for the most of it. Actually, you know what? Their word is golden for us right now. That's what we say. All right, at number 10, New Hampshire.
Okay. I did not think of that, but okay.
So New Hampshire's, apparently their state annual expenditures, according to their data, is sitting at $76,000 a year. Let's see here. In New Hampshire, housing, utilities, and transportation are above all the nation's average. However, the healthcare there is second most expensive out of all the states on the list. It is 28% over the national average, costing $7,000 a year per year, while national average cost for healthcare is more than $1,500 annually at $5,000. Let's see here. One of the reasons for the higher cost is that, unlike other states, New Hampshire has less oversight or accountability than other states when it comes to healthcare costs, according to the Business Review. Okay. Number 9, Connecticut. Connecticut has a $77,000 annual expenditure. The cost of groceries in Connecticut is just a bit below the national average, approximately 99%. However, you pay for most for utilities here. Utilities are 27% higher than the national average, $5,400 versus $4,200. The high utility costs are partially due to the regions relying on natural gas to fuel the power plants, and according to CT Insider.
Damn.
Okay. Number 8, Vermont.
Why is it the East Coast that seems so expensive? Okay, I'm not living in the East Coast ever.
Vermont sitting at $78,000 a year. In Vermont, the cost for groceries, utilities, healthcare, and transportation are above the national average. However, utilities, transportation are the most expensive at 22% and 21% above the national average, respectively. According to Vermont's public, Vermont is at the end of the energy pipeline, which makes energy more expensive for the state. Also, natural gas is mostly used by people in their homes, not by big industry consumers who can offset the cost of energy costs. Number 7, Oregon.
I figured we might be up there. I was debating about that.
Sitting at $81,800 a year. In Oregon, housing costs are 56% more expensive than the national average. That sounds about right. $21,000 annually versus $13,000 when it comes to housing markets. Supply and demand are big issue in Oregon. Ever since the pandemic, drove of people have been moving to the state from places like Seattle and San Francisco. However, housing isn't the only cost of living expense that stands out in Oregon. Transportation costs are also 25% above the national average. And I think we've been seeing that the housing area, and everywhere I've looked, has just been skyrocketing.
Yeah, but actually I've been noticing a decline thanks to inflation.
Well, yes, and also the recession.
Been dipping. I've been seeing it just because I watch that kind of stuff, because I'm hoping one day.
Okay, number 6, Maryland. their cost of living is sitting at $83,000. In Maryland, all cost of living expenses are higher than the national average, except for healthcare, which is 5.6% lower. The highest expense in the state is housing, which is at 57% higher than the national average. Supply and demand is the big issue here as well. So Maryland's the next place that you can. Oh, this is interesting. Here, now we're getting to the top 5. Number 5 is Alaska.
What?
Yeah.
What? Alaska? No. It's like so rural.
Alaska is sitting at $84,000 a year for cost of living for expenditures. When it comes to the cost of living related to healthcare, Alaska is much more than any other state on this list, at 51% above the national average. Wow. Limited competition among medical providers, high competition for providers, and higher hospital profit margins all contribute to the higher healthcare costs, according to Alaska Common Ground. Grocery costs in Alaska are 38% higher than the national average due to the geographical location. Much of the Alaskan food is brought by container ships over the water. That makes so much sense. Makes sense. So, yeah, I can see why their cost of living is food cost and then medical fucks. I don't never get injured in Alaska.
I know, right?
Okay, shit. Oh, all right. We're getting to the top 4. Number 4, New York.
I told you. I was out there.
Sitting at $90,900 a year. The housing cost of living the housing cost of living index in the state of New York is a whopping 94% higher than the national average.
Yeah.
Whereas groceries are about 9% higher. Well, the cost of living relates to utilities is the most reasonable at only 0.6% above the national average.
Damn.
Well, I think you're just paying for the housing. The housing is what's fucking you. While healthcare and the transportation.
Have you seen those apartments? Oh my god.
So everything else is like groceries, healthcare, transportation is just a little bit, just under 5% of the national average. It's just the housing that fucking sucks. That's literally it. It's not too expensive to live in New York if you're not taking the housing into consideration. Forget the housing. Like, okay, this is not a bad place to live. Input housing? Fuck.
I've seen some of those apartments. This woman had like a $23,000, $2,300 a month, and it was like, I want to say 200 square feet or something. It was ridiculous.
Was it just a shack near the park?
No, it was like this little corner apartment kind of thing, and literally she had to like crawl upstairs to go to her loft bed, and like crawl down these ladder to get down from it. And I'm like, and it's like, here's her kitchen, here's her bathroom. Oh wait, no, she had a communal bathroom. They have communal bathrooms.
Bruh.
Okay, let's continue. All right, number 3, California. Yeah, they're sitting at $92,900 a year. God, that's expenditures. So wait, let's use that math. We'll use that math. 92,900. So how much do you have to make a year to just substitute that to be able to live?
You have to make $37.
$44 a year.
Oh, I was close. I was in that range.
So you have to be able to live. So the sweet spot. The sweet spot we were talking about. You have to be making $45 an hour. That is the sweet spot. What is Oregon's sweet spot? What do we say? 81,800. Let's see here.
I'm gonna say $39. 49? No.
Divided by 52. Divided by $40.
40 hours an hour.
$40 an hour, just shy of 40.
Oh!
40, just shy of 40.
So I'm so close. I am so hella. No, I'm not close. Never mind. I got another $10 more to make.
Wait, you were like, no. You were so happy. I
was getting close. I was like, damn, I'm so close. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, y'all.
So yeah,
I'm hoping it. Maybe my next increase will be amazing.
So yeah, the sweet spot for Oregon is $40 an hour.
All right. I'm about $10 shy, about $10 shy of it. So
Okay.
hopefully my next pay raise will be amazing to get me that close.
All right. Let's continue. Massachusetts is number 2. There's
Yeah.
their annual expenditure is $100,000 a year. Massachusetts housing cost of index is second highest on this list and approximately 117,000 over the national average. So almost twice as much for a house. Inflation, land costs, and labor and materials all contribute to the higher expense, according to CBC News Boston. Transportation cost of index is also notable in Maryland, 34% over the national average. Utilities cost is about 21% above the national average. So much. All right, and at number 1, Hawaii.
I could see that. I could actually see that. Why? You're an island. You don't produce enough food. Your hospitals are low. Thinking about the pandemic, I was thinking about how strict you had to be going in and out of that place, literally. And what about Hawaii? Let's see. I could see the cost of food, land, housing. Yeah, and the whole 9 yards. I could see the whole 9 yards on this one. Why? Food, gas, everything. I could see it. Why?
Okay, so let's read this little blurb. So Hawaii is truly paradise, but it's also the most expensive state in America to live in. The cost of living in Hawaii overall is 86% higher than the national average. The cost of housing is Hawaii is jaw-dropping 207% above the national average. You're paying double for what you would pay here. Or not here, probably the national average. If you're wondering why housing is so expensive in Aloha State, strict housing regulations have forced a shortage. Hawaii has the most bothersome housing regulations in the nation, says Joe Kent, Executive Vice President to the Grassroots Institute of Hawaii. On average, it takes over 10 years for home builders to turn a raw piece of land into a house, and sometimes it takes even longer. Whoa. There's a new house that's literally been built near my housing, and it literally took only like 4 to 5 months, and it'll be on the market. But
I know.
So like,
I mean, think about it. My house, when I moved up here to the Northwest, we bought the piece of property in June, and by November we were living in it.
So that makes so much sense why it's so expensive. So the sweet spot, if you want to live in Hawaii, is $60 an hour.
Damn. I was like, $120 an hour. I'm just kidding.
It's not that high.
I don't know where you're gonna find a job that makes that sweet spot in Hawaii. You have to be like already a millionaire at that point.
Yeah, you gotta be the president of McDonald's. Yeah.
I know, right? That's how you're gonna make it.
But God, that just all that, just that blurb, like that is crazy. That we trying to just find all these things. It's difficult because here's the thing: no matter how much we eventually get to quote that sweet spot, the thing that will change the sweet spot is the cost of living. Because as we make more money, the sweet spot just gets even higher, and it's gonna be harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like eventually, like we are making the sweet spot, and then like no, actually the sweet spot's the bar to get that sweet spot. It actually just doubled up high, and like now you have to be making $120 an hour. And like what?
I know, right?
So that's just us complaining about that. Well, it sounds like we always complain about, but it's a real thing too. It's not like well, we like it's a frustrating talk and discussion, but it's one of those things like there's sometimes like when there's fights of legislation, it's not even political. It's more of just like people are just trying to live. Like
I know. It really is. It's just living. How do we not want to live comfortably? I mean, without having to stress about money or bills or anything like that. I mean, I think we're all there. I mean, just make a living, just make a wage, you know?
So yeah, there we go. Any final thoughts on this whole like talk of cha-ching money?
Nope. Hopefully I get to that sweet spot.
What was
I'm hoping. I dream. I'm
what was
dreaming,
Oregon's
baby.
sweet spot again?
$40 an hour.
$40
I'm
an
about
hour.
$11 off of it, 12,
I mean,
depending how you look at it. But I'm paying higher in medical this year, so I'm paying for it.
Isn't that funny? It's like I said, I think you and me are both having the issue where we're almost to that sweet spot, but then like our medical stuff is like holding us down. Like, that was so close.
You're the one who's got bills. I'm waiting for those bills.
Oh, you're waiting, but it's coming. It's coming.
I know it's coming. That's the problem. I prepared myself for that this year. So
I had them. You're going to get them.
exactly.
Okay. So everyone, I have a story I got permission to tell, so we're gonna be. The only thing I'm gonna do is change some names. So we're not gonna be doing a "Am I the asshole" story. It's kind of in the flavor of it. So you can tell me what your thoughts on this. I'm just gonna be changing some names. So one of my coworkers, Alex. He
You said Alex, you said?
Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, he moved up here a little over a year ago. He's been staying with his sister, Jennifer. We'll go with that. With Jennifer and her husband and their kids, just to kind of move out from California to come up here. You know, like I said, California living expenses, come up here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that happened recently to Alex. So, here's my question to you before anything. We just a quick blurb. How are you? What's your relationship with some of your siblings?
Well, some of them are strained, some are great. Never know.
It varies, right? So
Yep.
yeah. Okay. Have you ever been in? Have you ever been on your own or roommates with other individuals, friends, family, stuff like that?
Fortunately, never.
Okay. So so this is the situation that happened here. I can put in my thoughts when in the situation with roommates and stuff. So what happened here was apparently one morning, all he was trying to do is make some breakfast for himself. So Alex just went to the kitchen early in the morning, trying to grab some food, and just toast it, like cook it up in the microwave. No, wait, what is it? I'm trying to remember the story properly. Throw it. Yeah. He was gonna cook it on the stove. You know, just like grill up some meat and then like good and everything. So he's cooking it up and everything. And it's a small kitchen. It's an apartment complex.
Mhm.
And his sister comes into the kitchen. Just think of the kitchen as one of those like kind of like your kitchen. It's like there's
They call it a sailor's one.
Yeah.
A sailor's kitchen.
Okay, yeah. So everyone listening, it's a sailor's kitchen. So the sink and the oven are like right across from each other.
Literally.
So he's cooking it on the stove a little bit, and he's trying to like get everything prepped. And his sister just sits behind, and sitting on the sink, just watching him, just chilling. And
It's
then
not a very wide sink, so you guys think about it. From where that is, you literally are like, you can spread your feet apart, and that's how wide your kitchen is. Literally, that's how it is for me.
yeah, so he's done cooking the meat, but he still has a few other things he needs to cook and stuff. And he's like, but he's trying to wash some of the dishes too. And he's like, tells her, "Hey, can you move? I need to wash the dishes." And she says like, "Nah, like I need you." She says, "I need you to stop cooking because I need to prep some stuff." And Alex was like, "Well, I'm about done." You know, trying to be like, "Hey, yeah, I'll be done in a little bit. And once I'm done, it's all yours. I just want to finish up here and then wash my stuff and go back to my room." And it's like, and she's like, "No, you can't do that. I use it now, and you can't use any of my equipment or my."
What?
Yes, and I'm gonna use the quote my big M big Y. And he's like, why? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and she's just like, "I just don't want you to use any of my stuff." And she says like, "Well, can I just finish up and just head out?" He was trying to de-escalate the situation. And they get into this mild argument, kind of how siblings do, because at first it sounds like he was just messing with him, you know, like how siblings kind of like, no, you can't do that, kind of like, and then you eventually like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm just joking, you can do it." But it kept
Mhm.
going and going, and they started arguing a little bit more, to the point where he couldn't finish what he was doing because he needed to wash one of the pans, and they were just continuing this quarreling to the point where he like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to my room. You finish whatever cooking you need to do because she needed to quote cook some stuff for the kids. And once she like, and he told her like, once you're done cooking, I'm just gonna come back and finish my stuff, right? So he goes back to the room, kind of like tries to take a breather for about like 20-30 minutes. That's what he said. And Alex comes back, and his sister just has a pot of boiling water on the stove, and he's just like, I like asked like, are you done? Because I just want to finish up my breakfast and then go to my room and eat it. And she's like, well, no, like I just want to throw my stuff in the oven, and because he wanted to then like toast some bread and stuff like that. So he throws it in the oven, like you can't use the oven as well. And I'm like, and that's when I was like, what is happening here?
Dude, it's like she doesn't want him there. Like she's just, I don't know why I don't. Okay, I don't. Hold up. Why can't she be an adult and tell him, "Hey, I need you to move out. I can't live with you." Just be simple and plain as that, you know. But I think she should be more reasonable, give him like 30 days to find some place. I mean, it's not easy to find a place here in Oregon. Damn, you're trying to find a house, and I mean, it's on the market in 24 hours. It's gone.
So yeah, so he and they're just like, then there's like, you can't use the oven and all this stuff, and he's like, they're like, can I at least get my food back out of the oven then? Because he was about to just toast it and everything, and just like he'll just eat it cold at this point. He's just like, I just get my stuff out of the oven and everything, and like no, and he's like, why can't I use the oven? Like he pays rent, he should be able to use stuff because the oven is not hers, it's the apartment's. And they just keep arguing and arguing. And he says like, and he's like, you know what? If you're not gonna move, I'm gonna make you move and pull the oven door out and just grab his food. And when he does, she shoves back the oven door back, and by doing that, knocks the boiling pot of water onto his foot.
Oh, damn, that's painful.
And you know what she does? Looks down at his feet, looks at him, and just kind of wins like, like nothing. And he wasn't wearing shoes or socks.
I mean, if it was socks still, I mean, think about it, trying to pull that off with boiling skin.
True. But yeah.
Oh, I've heard so many screams like that in the ED. Oh.
When I heard this, I'm like, what? Bro. I was like, dude, like, what?
I don't understand. Like, I think the sister said, hey, it's cool if you're here for 6 months, but by the 6-month mark, could you, like, start moving out, you know? Like, how long have they been living together? I missed that part. I must have.
As far as I know, a little over a year.
Okay.
He moved up from California about a year and a half ago, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, he's still, I mean.
There's been other things, too. I won't mention any of that stuff. I'm just telling this story.
Damn.
Well, yeah,
bitch.
it's like, what are you supposed to do in that situation where all you wanted to do was make breakfast? Like, and you de-escalated it earlier to literally boiling your foot. So, I'm like, what would you have done in that situation if that was one of your siblings who ended up causing that situation to boil your foot?
Well, I'll be trying to find some place else to live. That's for sure. I don't know, putting up with this. I should have called the cops and be like, dude, I want to put assault charges on this person. Obviously, they're escalating it. She escalated to that point. I would have done that to that point. Be like, you know what? If you looked at my foot and go, that's cool. You're burnt foot. Okay. I'd be like, beep, beep, beep. Hello, cop. I want to press charges against my sister. Damn.
It's crazy. I feel bad
Because
for.
then maybe he can get some monetary thing for the burnt fruit and lost work. I mean, come on. She's obviously want to play that game. She could have just been a fucking adult and said, hey, I think you need to move out. I don't want you living here anymore. I don't understand. It doesn't sound like they were having fine up to this point. What happened?
I don't
She
know.
got annoyed with something. I don't know.
Apparently, there's some other stuff, and she was just being quote stressed out. It sounds
Just stressed out doesn't mean to take it out on your sibling.
Yeah, exactly. There is no reasonable excuse for what happened here. Like, yeah, the level of escalation for just a moment of I'm gonna just make some breakfast to that is just not even. Oh, and I even forget to mention when he was trying to turn the oven on, she was just kept hitting, the oven, kept pushing the buttons like a kid, like a child, like just so he wouldn't be able to turn on the oven on. And was able, just because of all the button pushes, locked the oven. So you couldn't do anything. So she was literally being childish.
Yeah.
So I wish the best
He
for
sounds
Alex.
like he was trying to be a responsible adult, cleaning up after himself. I don't sound like he was doing anything wrong. It sounds like he was just making food, cleaning up after himself, gonna eat his food in peace.
What
the hell is wrong?
I will say this is just from Alex's perspective, so I don't know what happened to the other side. But overall, it shouldn't have gotten to the point where there's literally a boiling foot. That should never have been the thing. Like maybe I think the most should have been some like arguing, at that point. Like siblings argue. That's
I know
that's a given.
I mean, I still argue with my siblings from time to time.
Exactly.
But some of them are a little more extreme lately.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough.
You remember that story?
Exactly. Anyone wants to know about that story? Yeah, go ahead and listen to the bonus episode.
No, it wasn't a bonus. I just went off on it. Am I the asshole story?
Oh, there you go.
Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Damn. If you guys want to find that one, you guys got to scroll through all the episodes. You can understand. But yeah, it's yeah, I feel bad for Alex. He's doing better now. He was able to get it in cold compress, aloe vera, just to kind of get all that settled. It wasn't that bad. It didn't go that far as burning, but boiling water.
Degree burn?
Huh?
3rd degree burn?
Isn't 3rd degree burns like bad?
No, first ones are the worst ones.
Oh, I thought it was backwards. First, second.
Okay,
third.
maybe I'm confused.
Oh my god, Liz, you're supposed to be our medical expert.
I know, I'm a little tired this morning.
But anyways, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad. It was just bad enough where it hurt like a ooh. But
$24. Are you out of your mind?
So yeah, it wasn't that. It was bad, but it didn't went too bad. It was just rough. It's a bad morning when all you wanted to do was breakfast. So
yeah,
all the best.
All I want is food.
All I want is food. So yeah, that's the story I wanted to share. Thank you, Alex, for letting me share that story. So any other words you want to say, Liz, before we head out?
Nope. Have a great week, y'all. Have a better week than me. I'll probably be dying next week when I come in and say hi.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.